Good af- Good afternoon, Michelle.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you again, Diana. Good afternoon. Hi, 10 George Realty. We're really excited. We have a good program here today from Nicole and Yvonne of Fidelity National Title. They'll teach us some prospecting and tools that they have that we can use and sign up for. So I'm going to let Nicole take it away. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the learning.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Thank you to those of you that are joining on Zoom. I see Catherine, Susan. Let me see who else is on here. Diana. Thank you,
Good
thank you, thank you for joining. So today I am going to talk about our Fidelity Agent One app. I know I've been in the office and shared this. Oh, it's probably been maybe about a year or a year and a half since we've gone over the app. They've added a lot of new calculators. And so that's why I said to Michelle, I'd love to come in and share, especially right now. This is the peak season. And there's some calculators within the app that you can use to prospect to your past clients, as well as if you're working with buyers, there's calculators in here to help them get off the fence and make a move and start investing in their future. So thank you. If you do have questions, you're more than welcome to ask away. So you can unmute yourself. I don't know, do you have them all muted?
No, they can
Okay,
unmute.
so
We
you,
don't force that.
okay,
Yeah,
so
they
you
can
can
unmute.
unmute yourself and ask questions, okay? Interactive, this is an interactive class. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen here? Okay, perfect. So I'm already logged in. And if you do not have the app downloaded on your phone or on your desktop, it's Fidelity Agent One. What I will do is I will also put the link in the chat at the end so that you can take the information down. You can also send me an email. I'll put my information in the chat as well. And I can get you set up as well. Okay. So the beauty of our Fidelity Agent app is it allows you to create buyer estimated fees. So if they want to know how much their monthly payment's going to be, you can come in here to Fidelity Agent. You'll want to make sure that you have the correct county selected because it pulls those fees based on the county. So on the desktop version, it's slightly different than the mobile app. On the desktop, you'll see over here on the left side, it allows you to click on this drop down to change the county. On your mobile device, it would be in the center. Okay. You can also customize, so you can put all your contact information in your profile. So you want to make sure when you do create your account, you come into the profile setting and add your license number, your DRE number. Come on in, Karina. How are you? So you'll want to add that information, okay? And that would be under your profile. And if you need help with this, I'm more than happy to help any of you get this set up, okay? So with the buyer side, what's great about selecting this information, it will allow you to actually enter a property address. So when you enter the address, it will pull the tax information, the home link information, which is any tax info as well as loans that the property owner may have. It'll pull that information into the account. So I'm just going to use an address here for property that was on Caravan today and just demonstrate. Oops. So you can see firsthand, and this is all live, okay? And it was number 3, Arcadia. And it should pull the information in. for that particular property. Fairview Avenue. And it's not pulling this one in. There it is. Okay, so unit 3. And let me enter the loan type. So it allows you to select the loan type. And here it pulls in the home link information. So it shows what the annual property taxes are assessed at, what the value is for the current tax year. Okay. So these are the estimated property taxes. You click on done and it'll populate that information down below here in the tax field. You can then select the loan type if they're getting a loan, conventional, FHA, VA. If they're going to pay all cash, you can select all cash. I'm going to leave it as conventional. That way you can see everything that appears on the estimated net. And I did not write the sales price down, so I'm just going to enter an amount. And let's just say the buyer is going to put 20% down. And we're going to leave the interest rate as is because it's pulling. Anytime you open the app, it automatically updates to make sure that it has the most current interest rate. Obviously, it's going to change based off of the borrower, their credit. So you can use this as a guideline. You can change the terms of the loan. If they're doing a 30-year, a 20-year, 15-year, you can change the terms. Now, this information is new as of August, okay, because of all the changes with NAR, right? You have the ability to change this if you want it to read buyer broker fee, buyer agent compensation, whatever verbiage you wish to use. Whatever, I don't know what you're telling the agents to use. So I'm going to leave it as compensation.
Yeah, that's fine. That sounds a little nicer. Yeah.
And you can select the percentage. So let's just say 2.5. And you can select who is going to pay the compensation. Is the seller going to pay? Is the buyer going to pay? Or is it going to be split? So I'm just going to say the seller is going to pay. Now, if the seller does not agree to the compensation and the buyer agent doesn't want to, then you also have the option to add concessions. Okay, so whatever is negotiated. So I just wanted to share that this is now here. Okay, hazard insurance is automatically pulled in, and then the taxes, as we mentioned. Now, this was a condo, so let's just say there was an HOA fee of $75 for this one. City transfer tax. Are you guys aware that some cities charge an additional city transfer tax?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't remember which cities, you can click on this drop down and it will show you. Okay. So if your property happens to be in Culver City, Pomona, Redondo Beach, you'll just want to make sure you put a check mark next to that specific city because then it will pull that additional tax amount in. Okay. In this case, I'm going to click.
4.5% out of the sales price.
So this is 4.5% on top of the regular.
That's LA City, not county, correct?
This is LA City,
Right.
Culver City, Pomona. So these are the
Yeah.
city taxes on top of the county transfer tax.
Wait, so this is 4.5% on top of the tax?
Yes,
Mhm.
Yes.
well,
That's why you'll see a lot of offers, they'll check if applicable, they'll put the seller to pay and then they'll write on the off to the side if applicable.
Yeah.
So they don't get caught with it.
Right. So just remember when you're going through and creating these calculations for your clients, make sure that you select that drop down because if you don't remember,
Yeah.
you might miss out on that additional tax that's
Yeah.
going to be charged. Okay. And I know these are just estimates. A lot of times you have your escrow prepare these. And if you're doing this and it's off, that could be a reason. Okay. So make sure you select that. And then I selected Contempo escrow, but you do have the ability to input your own escrow because it'll pull the fees in that they've provided to us. We sent them a form, they filled it out, and then they chose to be part of the app. That way they get more exposure. So if you click on this little pinwheel or gear wheel, you'll see there's a whole list of escrow companies here within LA County that have chosen to add. If you don't see your escrow company in here, you can ask them, is it possible to obtain your fees, and you can add them manually.
Okay.
So if you go to manual calculation, you can enter their name. You would need this information, base amount, up to per rate, or you could just use one of the escrows that's in there. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Now you want to select the closing date. So let's say it's a month from now. We click on compute and you're going to see how quickly these calculations pop up. Usually takes less than a minute, depends on the internet, obviously. You can pull it from the desktop, as I said, as well as your smartphone. You want something? Hold on. Do you want anything? Okay. So now we see here at the top, it gives our estimates. On the left side, it'll show the monthly payment. So in the center, this is the monthly payment. This also is color coded. So this is the principal and interest, your taxes, and again, this is monthly, insurance and HOA. On the right side, what they would need to bring to close for their down payment, prepaids, and fixed costs. Now, if you want to view these estimated closing costs, you can click here and it will open. Here are the prepaids. Here are your title, escrow, endorsement fees, messenger, your lender fees, recording fees. Okay. If we selected that the buyer's agent was going, or the buyer was going to pay for the commission or compensation, excuse me, then that would show here. But for our example, we selected the listing or the seller to pay. Okay. You can edit anything that has a red X. So you can change the amount, you can remove it, you can add. And then once you do, you click on done and or close out this page. So it would go back and recalculate if you made any changes. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, that's really nice.
So you see this little icon here? It's to share or not share, but rotate. Thank you, Carlos. If you rotate, this will allow you to create an infographic that will show how the price would affect their payment. So if the buyer has to increase their offer because there's multiple offers, then this will show quickly how it would affect their monthly payment. You can change the increments. It's defaulted to 10,000. You can change it from 1,000, 5,000, 10, 25, 50, or 100,000. Okay. Once you do that, then you can click here on this share icon, and it's going to create a nice little infographic flyer that you can print, you can text it, you can email it. And it is taking a moment. Internet's a little slow, huh? Let me see if it'll load it. If not, then we'll jump ahead. Doesn't look like it wants to load, so I'm going to jump ahead. Now, also with the buyer, not only can you compare how it affects their payment, but you can also modify an offer and you can do a comparison. If they're going to do 15-year, 20-year, 30-year, you could do that. Also, if you have a buyer that wants to know, the totals, the principal, the interest, the payment, amortization schedule, that is listed here as well. Okay. But as far as the estimate, you can click here on share or print PDF. And this is where it creates nice little infographics that you can send to your client. You can customize it. You can change the color. You can choose a different template. If you want it in a different language, it allows you to choose a different language. So Spanish, French, German, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, that's here. You can change the footer. Also, for those of you that are hosting open houses, under the premium version, there are home reports. These home reports are fantastic piece to have at your open house because it will show the conveniences that are nearby. Supermarkets, gas station, Starbucks, hospital, the schools that are nearby, the restaurants that are nearby. A lot of times the buyers want to know what's the internet speed, what's the walk score, what's the sound score. This is information that you can pull. Okay. And remember, in the beginning, I told you about the profile. So for buyer, seller, and calculators, all of these are free. If you decide you want to upgrade to the premium, which I'll show you, it's 99 cents per month or $10 a year. Okay. That premium allows you to put your photo as well as the logo, so it's more personalized. And then it also gives you access to this home report as well, along with other infographics.
So this home report only will be paid.
Yes.
$1 a month.
Yeah.
$12 a year.
And you can take it for a test drive for 30 days. You can test it out, see if you like it. If you feel you're going to use the premium, then you can upgrade. If you don't think so, yeah,
That's pretty good.
yes. But I think once you see what the premium offers, how many of you are using social media? Anybody on Instagram? Anybody on Facebook? Okay. Are you looking for content?
I don't even know how, yeah.
So this has content in
It's more
here.
for fun, yeah.
Yeah, this has content in here that you can push out, okay? And it has the captions and the hashtags. So instead of having to scroll through, oh, what am I going to use? What am I going to post? That information will be in here. And once you have an account created, yes,
My face or your face?
Steven?
your face.
Sorry, I'm-
Your face, because you upload your photo and your logo, so it'll have all of your information. Okay, this has my face because this is my account. Yeah. And I'll show that to you, but I just wanted to share. So this home report is part of the premium. And again, you can email this information, you can text it, you can print it. Okay. Sellers. So how many of you are reaching out to your past clients? Perfect. Are you calling, texting, emailing? Calling and texting? Okay. So we are being coached right now by a very well-known real estate coach. And if you're not reaching out to your sphere, your past clients, you're missing out. Do you realize that on Sundays, most people are surfing the web? What do you think they're searching for? Anybody? They want to.
Also the world.
Exactly.
I can do.
That's right, Carlos.
You gonna see how much your house is worth?
Yeah, every day, every Sunday.
Yes. So maybe not weekly, Karina, but most people are looking, they want to see what the value is of their home, right?
I gotta do one.
So while they're doing that, they're being fed advertisements, right? Other agents are showing. So if you're not reaching out to them and contacting them and just checking in, you're missing out because they're going to see somebody else's name pop up there. So I would recommend going in to the system here and you can pull up, and I'm going to go to calculator. So I'm going to jump ahead. You can go in and a then versus now. So you could create this then versus now. You can also do an equity review, which is the one that I would recommend.
Oh,
So you could pull an equity review. Again, you would enter the property address. And you know what? I'll just use, I can't use my address because it's Orange County. So let's just use that same address because I want to show you how powerful this is. You can then text it to them or email to them. Okay, so
Do we need the code from you to activate this? Or we sign up directly?
I can give you, you can go directly to the website, fidelityagent.com. And when you do that, it'll ask you for your information, your email. You'll select the location, if it's California, Southern California, and then from the drop down, you'll select Nicole and Yvonne. But I can also send you the QR code, or I can send you the link if you prefer. Then you can just click on it and download. So I'm going to say their interest rate, because it found a loan recorded in 2021. I'm just going to use this interest rate that's showing below at 2.9 because it's going to pull in what their estimated loan balance is. Let's just say 2.9. Compute. So here's the estimated loan balance. I'm going to say, let's use this. Let's use the current value. So let's use 989. And their purchase price, I think, was I forgot what it said there. So let's say 589. And let's say they put 20% down. And here's the loan start date. Let's click on compute. So here's the current equity. Here's the original purchase price, current value, how much it's appreciated, their down payment, principal, and so it brings in that current equity. So this is something that you could, again, share. And if you're using your phone, you can download it, text it, and you could say, I was thinking about you and doing a search in the area looking for properties for other clients. And I thought I'd pull up an equity review. Here's what I found. And I'd love to talk if you're interested in listing or selling, whatever script you want to use. Okay. So here is the flyer that you could provide to them. And then it shows what the net at close is. Okay. So again, this is free. This is a way for you to reach out to your past clients and give them some valuable information. Also within the calculators, along the same line, you have the now versus later. This would be a great one to use for buyers. If they're saying, no, I don't want to buy, I want to wait till later. That's also another powerful calculator. I don't know why it's taking so long to load. Okay.
they've been working on it.
Okay. So with that, you can plug in the numbers and it'll show that then versus now. If they purchase now, they're going to be paying down their mortgage, right? If they wait, they have to potentially purchase at a higher price because we don't know what's going to happen to the values. And in some areas, there's still a lot of activity. There's a lot of multiple offers in some areas.
Mhm.
You know, we don't know what's going to happen with the interest rates, right? So you can use that for your buyers, especially ones that are on the fence. Okay. There's also a buy down calculator, buy now or buy later. So these are, you know, additional calculators that can be used. So we can enter the home price. I'll use 789 and let's use 25% down and click on compute. So here, if they buy now, here's their loan, here's their total payment, right? Interest rate, all of the figures, principal and interest, taxes, insurance, that's built in, what they need to bring to close. Now, if we click on this share and print, it'll give you also what the other options are. Same with the mobile device. So it's going to load and it'll show what the benefit is to buy now versus buying later. So here's buying now. Appreciation. If they buy now and they refinance, let's say in 2 years, this is what their payment would be. If they wait and buy in 2 years, they're going to be paying more.
Mhm.
So this would be a way for you to have that conversation. Okay. And you see how quickly it allows you to do those calculations. Okay. Any questions? Any questions on Zoom? I don't see any questions there in the chat. Do you want me to go over the seller?
Mhm.
Okay. So with the seller, I can add the address again. Let's just pull this in. Conventional loan. Do you guys see the benefit of using this app?
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
So do you know that this is the #1 closing cost app in the nation?
Oh.
And Tom Ferry is promoting this at all of his events. He was introduced to it and agents are just loving it.
Home link? Did
Yeah.
you guys sponsor?
So it pulls in the home link again. And I'm going to click on next. And let's just use that interest rate again, 2.9. Click on compute. Use the estimate. So let's put that sales price in. And here we can add the broker fee. And again, we can change this to concessions, broker, you know. I'll leave it as is. And let's just leave it 3 and 3. Okay. I'm going to say that the buyer is going to pay. And I'll leave everything else as is. We know that this particular property, Arcadia, does not have a city transfer tax. And we're going to click on compute. Closing date is a month away. It will now provide us a seller net sheet. So here's the, I put too many zeros. That would be great, right? So let's recompute. You can also save these estimates if you're doing it for a buyer, if you're doing it for a seller, and when you save them, then they'll be stored up here in the estimate folder. Okay, so now let's go back up. Here's what they would net based off of the sales price and what it pulled in as the estimated loan balance. Okay, closing costs. Again, same thing as the buyer. You can go and look at those detailed costs. You can share and print the PDF, but this is what I wanted to show. You can also compare multiple offers, but if you have a seller that said, you know, Karina, I want to list at this amount, and you provided the comps, it shouldn't have been listed at that price. It's overpriced, right? So let's say it's sitting on the market longer. You can come in here to holding costs and you can prepare this to show them, look, the longer your home sits on the market, the more it's costing you. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. So this way you've got a visual to provide to them. Okay. It does allow you, it is very nice. It does allow you to add additional expenses. So if you want to bring utilities in, you can do that as well. Okay. So that's under holding costs. I'm going to go back to the net sheet and I'm going to click here on the print PDF. So here again, it provides a nice little net sheet that you can print off. You also have other options, other templates that you can choose from. And just like the buyers, you can customize. So if you want to change the way the footer and the header look, you can go in and change that. And again, from here, you can save the estimate and it would end up here in your estimates. Okay, so that's the buyer, the seller, a few of the calculators. Now, I'm going to jump into the premium. When you download the app, create your account, you will receive an email the first Monday of every month, and you'll see that there is a monthly marketing package. They call it an MMP. So in that monthly marketing package, you'll see here, let me go and find May. So here's May. So if you just open that email that you received from Palm Agent, that's who it's coming from, there's a video that they create and they go over the different, either calculators, usually the calculators that are included or the infographics. Then they also will provide, here's a piece that you can share in your social media. Here's the historic appreciation chart. So let's say we wanted to collect or select this one and start sharing. It will then go to the screen where we can go in and edit. Remember I said it already has the captions and the hashtags? They're right here. So you could click on copy captions and it saves it. And if you wanted to share this, you could quickly share this to your social media and then you paste in your captions and your hashtags. Now, I am going to, it's not moving forward, so let's just go to share. You can download it, email, print. You can download the image and then your social media, it would be linked here. What I usually do though, is I'll go and save the image to my phone, to my camera roll, and then I'll just copy the captions and I can post it to wherever I want. You can do whatever's easiest for you. Okay. So there's one piece. They have other pieces that you can post. And again, these are for your stories. They also have it available for your feed. They have swipeable graphics. Does everybody know what a swipeable graphic is, or a carousel? That means there's multiple images. So this way you're keeping potential clients engaged longer and they're swiping through to look at each of those images. Okay. You also have filters here. So you have a listing or an open house that you're going to be hosting. You can click here on see all and it will show the just listed, and you can put in the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, the square footage. If you have a photo, so you could select any one of these that you like, pop your information in, and you could post this and share it to your social media. And again, this is 99 cents a month if you wish to upgrade. They also have videos here that you can push out, as well as the shareable calculators. And here on the left side, you'll see all of these filters. If there's something specific that you're looking for, let's say it's just listed, you can go and search for it in the search bar. That way you're not having to go through and look through all of the graphics that are there. So here it pulls up several different pieces. You can either use this infographic, tips on how to sell faster. So this is a nice little piece that you can customize and print out, especially for door knocking.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, that's a great door knocking one.
Door knocking, and same with the calculators too. If you wanted to go and target specific individuals. So within our Fidelity Total Farm, we could go and say, okay, give us the owners that are most likely to sell in the area. It's 34 property owners. If you wanted to just target those 34 owners, you could come in here. You could run that sell to net or the other calculator that we discussed for the seller and equity review. It's 34 property owners. You could go in, you could print this off. That's something that you could mail or door knock it. Okay. Any questions? Good. Rent versus buy. So if you have buyers that want to know, well, what's the benefit for me to buy? They have a calculator for that. Anybody have investors that they're working with that are doing fix and flip? They have a flip calculator. Okay. Home equity calculator. There's an iBuyer multiple offer. So if you just come in here to calculators, you'll see that there's a lot of different options and you see how quickly.
Is this in the premium?
No, this is
This
all.
The free?
This is all free. So buyer, seller, and calculators is all free.
Good.
All included. Premium, those are those infographics,
Yeah. I
the
love that.
captions, the hashtags,
Yeah.
and the home report.
Now, cause, we have, Coldwell Banker Facebook, or I'll say George Realty now, and Instagram. If I get that premium, could I just use those on our company?
You can, but it's going to have your information. So it's going to be
Oh.
branded to you unless you don't put, because doesn't everything have to have a DRE license number or no? If you're doing it
No,
for the
I'll check.
office,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, cause I was thinking that would be nice if I could use those graphics.
you could use the graphics and make it generic and not put anybody's name.
And then
So under the
our
profile.
company DRE.
Huh?
Yeah,
So what you
Okay.
could do is you could probably create the account. Maybe,
yeah,
do you have a different email address that you could do it for rather than yours, Michelle?
not really, but I could create one.
Because if you do that, you go here to profile,
Uh-huh.
you could potentially remove all this
Yeah.
information and put the company license.
DRE is what I'd like to do.
Or you could name this as the company and put
Uh-huh.
all that info, and then it just has the company's
I'll
information.
check it. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
And again, that was over here under profile.
okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Also with the account settings, if there's something that you want to change, you can add the opportunity, equal housing logo. If you want to change the colors for your branding, you can have that be changed here. Then that way it's automatic and you're not having to change that under the custom. And you can also, if you know the RGB colors, then you could actually pull in your color. Template, signatures, so you can do all of that. And once you do, it should say save. And I don't see. And then your disclaimer, you can have that turned on automatically. Okay. So that's pretty much Fidelity Agent 1. And again, it's free. For those of you that want access, I can send you, and actually I thought I put the QR code on here. I didn't. I can send you the QR code. I will put the link here in the chat. And also my contact information. So if you need help, if you want me to jump on a Zoom with you, if you forget how to navigate and find a specific calculator, I'm more than happy to help with that. And I thank you all for your time. I hope you find this useful for your business, and we look forward to earning your business. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. I love that. You wanna,
And I will stop
yeah,
sharing and
And-
stop recording.
yeah, end it?
Just